Hello, everybody. How's it going? Yep, Jeff's still up there. Hang on. Let's set him off. Set him off going round and round. um, yeah, we're carrying on the old Grenada shoulder parts today. Today we're going to try and get them done, and I need to get these on the tops and bottoms as well. They should inform and shape the entire thing. We've got them all cut out, because right there, here's one I made earlier. For those Brits that watch these videos, they're, blast from the past. Right, looks like I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to cut some new foam. Ugh. Got to release a bit more of it from the packaging. I don't open it straight away because otherwise it just pings out flat and it goes everywhere. I don't know if you can see any of this. Let's see. It's upside down, but that's the stuff we want. The stuff on top here is the 5mm stuff, and we're working with 10, so that's the thing. Right, probably about there. Yep, that'll do. Let's have a look. Just make absolutely sure I have. Didn't know if I'd made enough of a lengthy cut. There we go now. There we go. That'll do. That is all we need. Right, what we're going to do is I'm going to start at the bottom and do the fatter but smaller one, the very bottom, and we'll put this one quite close, and then we'll do the same again for both sides, basically. But do we need to reverse it? Well, we do, but I can just flip it round that way, can't I? Yes, I can, because I'm clever. That's definitely what's happening. Oh, photos. 2 seconds. That's pretty funny. Alright, here we are. Had a couple of extra people subscribe to the channel whilst the last couple of days have gone. I want to thank you. One in particular, John from across the pond, my buddy from the Halo 3 days, and ODST and Reach, and up to current day. Yeah, thank you, mate. It's been far too long since we've talked, and even longer since we've played games together. Things changed. We got older, and both of us got kids and time zones and all that shit, work, etc. Can't be helped. It is real life stuff. But I really appreciate you following the channel, my dude, and hopefully we'll get to do stuff again soon at some point. I'm thinking it's going to be like in a couple of years' time, we're going to get sick of each other because like the kids will be like old enough that they're independent and going to school and walking themselves home and stuff, and we'll be playing fucking video games all the time, and we'll both end up getting divorces and and yeah, but we'll find each other again, my friend. It'll be good. I don't doubt it. And you know, feel free. Like I know you're probably not here now, and it's probably far too early on your side of the world for you to catch this live. But stick a comment on it. Let me know how you're doing. All right? Because you know, what can I say? I miss you, dude. Now we have all that sappy nonsense out of the way. Also, I'd like to welcome anyone else that's been watching the videos, like after the fact. I know I stream at like a weird time, so it's not like it's high traffic time or anything like that. So I don't expect people to always be here live. But I really do appreciate everyone like that's watched the live streams later on. Like I can see them trickling views in, and I do really appreciate that. So I wanted to put that at the top of the video for those that come and watch and stuff. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Thank you. And that's about it. Like and subscribe and all that shit. Mate, get it done. You're not a fan. I don't even know what I'm saying, so I don't blame you if you don't. Yeah. Just wanted to shout those people out before I fully got like into the meat and potatoes of this video. Because like I say, I appreciate. I say it. I've tried to say it. Like I've ended up saying it at the end of most of these live streams, and it occurs to me that I should probably say it at the top, because then people hear it right away, you know. And I want people to hear it. I want people to hear my appreciation and admiration for, you know, everything. Right, they've sort of gone outward, and I need an absolute straight. So we're gonna have to chop off these little straggly bits, like so. There we go. That's nice and flat now to the line. It's almost the same on the other side, but it's not quite as bad. It doesn't seem quite as bad on the other side either. So right, to start with, let's get it on this one. Is this right though? I think it is. Yeah, okay. Right, first things first, let's get the actual part glued on, and then we'll concentrate in trying to bend it inward. You can see it's naturally forming a gap, and we'll bend it in like that once it's all solidified, etc. May have a little bit too sharp of an angle. Let's have a look. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to just glue like the edges again. Oh well. Oh, come on. Right, here we go. Start at a higher angle than you need, and then let it drop down slowly into where you want it to be. There we go. I would say that's about right. I think it's just funny because it's a sharper angle than we've got there. And if it were at all possible to have added these bits onto this straight here, I would have done. I really would have done, because it would have been much more consistent, but alas, 'twas not possible. I think we've got the angle. Yeah, that's exactly right. You can sort of see there, the angle is exactly the same. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Yeah. For anyone watching that don't know what I'm doing the Grenadier Shoulders, which, if you're familiar with Halo, Halo Reach, the George character, you know, the big guy. The Hungarian, or speaks Hungarian, to the other. Interesting choice, Hungarian, to be like the language of the Reach civilians. Interesting. I don't know where that comes from, but then again, I'm not like a huge fan of all like the lore. I could have sworn I just heard a doorbell, but we don't have a doorbell. Anyway, yeah, I'm not a massive fan of the lore. I used to be. I used to be a much bigger proponent of all the lore, and then 343 came in and changed it all. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Mr. O'Connor. It was like, in Halo 3, there was all the terminals you could find, and I loved finding them things and reading them, and I had no idea what it meant, because it was only around about that time, that sort of time, where I was starting to properly get into the outer game lore, and I started to, like, I read into that and understood it, and apparently Frank O'Connor was in charge of like having them written and distributed around, and in charge of which bits you'll find when. And it was him that snuck in like a little tiny, like, apparently like, there's one sentence. I don't remember reading it, and it's been a long time since I have, but apparently there's one sentence that alludes to the Forerunners being like alien creatures, when the entire game series, 1, 2, 3, ODST, Reach, whatever you want, all was building up to the big reveal in Halo 3 of when Guilty Spark says to Chief, "You are the child of my creator. You are Forerunner." So we just ignoring all that, because immediately in Halo 4 they go into this great big deep lore thing of billions of years ago, or millions of years ago, or whatever. There was ancient spacefaring humans in a war with the ancient flood and the Forerunners themselves. So, like, naturally, I was confused as fuck on that. I was like, hang on a minute, wait, what? What's going on there? Because I thought humans were Forerunners. So are we saying, like, what's going on? It was. I thought in that Halo Legends they were just keeping it ambiguous for the point of like spoilers, or you know, and they only ever showed the Forerunners with like helmets on. So you never saw, in the anime, you never saw the faces, so you never knew that they were meant to be humans or anything. But by then, 343 had already took over and had already planned the law change. And yes, it was a law change. It wasn't like a slight adjustment, or that was always the plan. It was a law change. They'd planned to change it so that they could do the Promethean thing. And have it a bit more like it was an excuse to make a new type of enemy for Halo 4. I'm fairly certain that's all it was, when they could have had it in very much the same way as like the Monitor becomes the enemy because it doesn't know who you are, therefore the or it does know who you are, and maybe the monitor decides it wants to send Prometheans after you, type of thing. There was a million ways they could have gone after it, but they wanted this Promethean thing, and they wanted it to be, and they wanted the Didact and all of that, and they didn't want him to be human. They wanted him to be an alien threat. I think when you get an idea into your head and you realise it's not going to work, and you think, right, what we'll do is change everything about the thing we're making rather than just change your idea, you may have gone too far. Just a thought. 343. It's like if you don't like the sandcastle you've built, and instead of changing the bucket you're using, or rebuilding the sandcastle a little bit just to alter it a bit to make it more to your taste, you instead decide to change the sand pit. Where it's like, well, if this sand castle isn't really working, let's change the type of sand that we're building it with. Well, it's like, no, it just needs an extra tower on the end. We could do something else. We could change how we're building it, and then it might... No. No, what we need is a completely new sand pit. But that wrecks every other castle that we've built so far. Okay. Oh dear. Yeah, if you regularly join me, you'll start to see that rants about 343 changing things is a constant theme. Yeah, and I'd like... The other thing is the insincerity, like, not insincerity because that just means they're not... Well, yeah, I suppose that, like, they're not being genuine is a thing, but what I mean to say really is that I don't like that they try and explain away things that they've clearly done wrong with, like, lore explanations, like why is Chief's armor so different between Halo 3 and then subsequently Halo 4 and 5, and they'll try and like Frank O'Connor genuinely said that Cortana did that, like played with Chief's armor with nanobots in that time that he was asleep. And you're like, alright, yeah, I could accept that as an explanation, except for the very first cutscene of Halo 4 that he clearly forgot about, where a whole bunch of Spartans just land and they all look like Master Chiefs. Not even with a colour palette swap, it's just green Chiefs in Halo 4 armour. And that's supposed to be like a flashback sequence. Yeah, and it annoys me that they brought back loads of Spartans in game, because the whole point of that trilogy, as far as I was aware in the games, is you were the last one. You were like the last of your kind, And it was a whole thing. You were the last Spartan. You were the luckiest. You were the one that fucking survived everything and all the rest of it. And apparently that's not the case anymore. It's just like, oh, bollocks. Is that working? Yeah. Yeah, so sorry, my heater went off. Yeah, I just don't like, I don't like insincere, like basically flat out lies when it comes to stuff like that. Just say we wanted to change it up, so we did. We're sorry everybody didn't like it. Do you know what I mean? but it's their insistence on like trying to excuse the crappy actions with like lore explanations is just annoying to me. And as someone that makes the armor regularly, it pisses me off even more because yeah, they're trying to make out that it was a thing when it wasn't. Clearly, it wasn't. Clearly, it was an art change decision, and they ultimately pissed everybody off with it. Apart from certain newcomers to the franchise, they newcomers liked it, and that's, I mean, probably why they kept it going through in Halo 5. I hated it, and to this day, I refuse to make Halo 4 and 5 armors. Just no. I've done one. You know who you are. And it was just a helmet. It was the most annoying thing in the world to put together, but it's come out quite nice, and I'm happy I made it. And the guy I've made it for is a lovely gent, so fine. But I just hate that art style. It's so horrible. It's like somebody like tried to redraw Titanfall on a coke binge. Yeah, you get what I mean, don't you? Oh, 343. See, you caught me in the middle of a rant. It didn't even take you coming up with that there, Mr. Wizard. Welcome, sir. Lovely to see you in the chat. Um, but yeah, I was ranting about the law change again. The bloody, where they were trying to make out that they'd with the armor and that, but it was the law change that's annoyed me because I said what I was saying was I wasn't really much into the out of game lore until around about Halo 3. And then when Halo 3 popped around, I got really interested in it because of those terminals and everything that you could pick up. You could find them all over the place. And then that whole thing that changed like everything was when you finish the game. Guilty Spark, funnily enough, 343 Guilty Spark, says, "You are the child of my creators. You are Forerunner." And that was supposed to be the big reveal that all this time you were running around all this Forerunner architecture, and it was in fact ancient humans that were the Forerunners, and therefore are the Forerunners, etc., etc. You are the child of my creator. Exactly that was meant to be taken completely literally. That was the big reveal. The thing you'd been building up for 3 games worth. You find out it's you that created the rings and wiped yourself out. And that's why he's been calling you Reclaimer the entire time, not Claimer. Yeah, the idea being that you are reclaiming what you left behind, If you were in fact another species that was given the mantle of responsibility, as they like to call it in the newest games, then you wouldn't be a reclaimer, would you? You'd be a claimer. You'd be there to claim the mantle of responsibility, not reclaim the mantle of responsibility. You utter fucking morons. I'm sorry, but it's just like it's annoying. It's annoying. I really hate it. Almost as annoying as this, because this is like really not wanting to bend. Wow, we're going for it today. Well, it is. It's annoying. It really annoys me because like they spent, how many years did it take to make each game all the way up to like Halo 3 from Halo 1? It spanned two generations of console, and like the invention of Xbox Live, you know, all the way up to Halo 3. They had built that story up, and then the reveal was always supposed to be what it was supposed to be, and then just one, Irish fuck comes out and decides he wants it to be different, and then Microsoft hires him to be head of franchise. Wait, what was the pilot game? It was the first. It was like, yeah, it was the killer app for the Xbox. Yeah, it was the flagship game, definitely, and that was like 2001. And then by the time Halo 3 came out, I think it was like over a decade. They spent over a decade building up. It was like 2000. Oh no, it was like 6 years, wasn't it? Because I think it was like 2008 when Halo 3 came out. The last game came out in 2010 from them, which was Reach. And then, yeah, so it, like, something they'd been building up across 3 games, and it was always meant to be, was that you were meant to find out that Forerunners were human. Ancient humans. Far more advanced than we are today. And then Mr. O'Connor, he was like a low-level Bungie employee, and he was hired. He was basically tasked with writing the terminals in Halo 3 that you can find. And he put one little tiny snippet of info that hinted towards it being possibly a different species of alien other than human that were in fact the Forerunners. And I don't know if it was a case of like, oh, Bungie went, it's interesting, we'll leave it at that, but that's not the way it is, because, the actual game dialogue will provide other evidence. Or whether it was just a case of like, no one spotted it and he got away with it. But like, he was almost immediately hired after that, because that's when, around about the time that Bungie separated from Microsoft, to be head of franchise for 343, the industry that they created to carry it on. So they basically greenlit him and his stupid ideas. And he's the reason why... I'm not going to say he's the entire reason why Halo is shit now, but he is definitely the reason why the franchise went off on like a weird tangent of releasing comics and things like that, and then expecting everyone that plays the games to also read the novels and also read the comics and also watch Halo Legends and, every other like TV spot they put out. Instead of having like a consistent and like cohesive product, and then build lore around it, which is what used to happen with Bungie. They kind of treat the lore as the thing, as like a pie that they can just pick pieces out of and sell it to you with the promise that if you buy all the parts, you'll have a complete pie. When you're supposed to sell the pie and then say, by the way, we've got spoons, we've got plates, we've got drinks, we've got fries, whatever else around the bloody thing. Not like, yeah. So I was completely dumbfounded and confused about Halo 4. I was like, what are we doing here? Why are the Forerunners the bad guys? Why are the Forerunners got weird teeth in their heads? Why are they like... What? what are these Promethean things? Do they only exist inside this thing? In this little ball world? And then, of course, that's not the case because they just fucking go wherever they want after that. In, like, Halo 5, they're all over the place. Why do they like the Covenant and not like the humans? There's no reason for that, except there probably is somewhere in a comic or a novel somewhere, like on the back page, and they've mentioned it once, so they never have to mention it again. You should know, sort of thing. I don't understand. It's very annoying to me. I'm not only annoyed by like about the law and all the rest of it, but I'm also annoyed about the fact that this keeps splitting apart, and I've had to glue it like 6 times while I've been ranting about this. And I've been keeping it on my chest and been like that, so you can't see what I'm doing. But it's just this bit down here that you can see glistening is just coming apart. So who or what set you off today? Nothing. I thanked. I've had a bunch of subscribers over the last day or two, and I was thanking those people. And then one of which was my friend John, who's in America, who I first met on Halo 3. And we played together up until recent times, you know. And I said, and then I actually thanked you, Mr. Wizard, for popping in and following me over from Twitch and all that. And that I was greatly appreciative. But you're probably going to drop in and say 343 just to get me off on a rant again. And then I just automatically started ranting without being prompted. So there you have it. I'm going to have to cut a piece out of this, aren't I? Yeah, I am. I'm going to have to... Fuck's sake. Right. Fine. You win. There, that's better. Okay. I'll just cut a tiny bit out of behind there. Because that kept coming apart, and so I've just cut a tiny piece out of that, and that's just going to go together so much better. I think I moved the camera earlier, and I've pulled it further. Yeah, further back than it needed to be. Go on, you. Let's re-glue. So how's your day been, Mr. Wizard? Any meetings today? Any news from across country? Oh my god, this is so messy now. But it is coming to get like holding together a lot easier. So I'm definitely doing that with the rest of it as well. Been on the phone for a while. Have you? What have you been doing on the phone? You've been talking. Oh dear. That's like a legitimate question nowadays, isn't it? Because you do about 50 other things with your phone now. And I think if you've got a shit phone, if you've got a good phone, it's like 5 billion things you can do with that phone now. Including beat them to death with your own shoes. So I had to peel a bit of glue off my finger, and it looked and felt like skin, and I was almost about to be like, right, I'm going to have to end the live stream and go to hospital. except it was just really hot. So my skin felt like it was peeling, but it wasn't, and it was in fact glue. Sorting out when I'm on set next and I'm needed make. Is that mate? Good air. Good air. I'm proper psyched for you, mate. You know. And I know you've been all Mr. Cool Guy about it, and like, just checking when I'm needed on the set and what have you. But you're also like, I can tell. They might need me on set. But yeah, I've said it a million times now, I think. But like, yeah, I've been proper kissing your ass on this live stream since it moved to YouTube. Like, well, I was so proud of my mate. Yeah, so unbelievably happy that he's been able to do what he's done, and blah blah. Like, yeah. And I mean it genuinely. I really do. Sorry, I'm just chopping another bit out. I'm trying to concentrate and not chop my thumb off at the same time. Come on, you cannot. Right, that's it. That's done it. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. Right. Yeah, I'll just get this. Lol. Yeah, I'm not wrong though, am I? I certainly would be. Right. Okay, got in position. And now we must stay here for a while. Yeah. I think the whole rant, just to get back on it, because I mean, why not spend the rest of this broadcast ranting about 343? Because that's always good for views, innit? Yeah, I think like my main issue is the sort of don't you think they talk like politicians a lot? Hang on, I'll read what you're saying. I will say it. Not an easy job to manage everything at home and manage it all on set. So much more pressure to get things done. Yeah, well, of course. Anytime you put yourself in a position where you're doing something like this, that's maybe a hobby or something you're good at that's not necessarily traditional, but then you turn it into a job, immediately you have just like thrown away any kind of like ability to switch off and go, oh, I'll do this tomorrow. You can't do that anymore, because straight away, especially with films and stuff, you've got a release date, you've got a deadline, whatever that deadline might be, if it is a release date, you just can't do it anymore, can you? You've got to be what they want you to be, and you've got to do it at their pace as well. And it's like I say, my dude, like I would immediately be a part of your little workshop if I could, and help you out, and then be like, but well, yeah, I'm up here in north, and now happens up here. Like, you knew. But yeah, dude, I have every faith in you. I'm pretty sure you can manage it. And like, there is going to be times where you're going to have to spend time away from home, and but hopefully they'll pay you well enough that it'll be something that you have the luxury of not having to do all the time. Like, you get paid well enough for a job that you can afford to take a few weeks. You know what I mean? And spend it with the kids and the Mrs. Wizard, and then go back and get back to it. So you can maybe hopefully be like 6 weeks on, 4 weeks off type of thing, or 2 months on, 1 month off, and it could end up working out. Just hang in there, my dude. I'm sure you can. You'll be able to figure something out. Also, the missus seems quite understanding about it, from what I gather. That, like, not only understanding about, yeah, of course, yeah, busy. But you're lucky, like I say, you've got a Mrs. Wizard that not only is quite understanding, but is wanting to get into building her own costumes and stuff as well. So, yeah, that's never a bloody problem, is it? That's a good thing, very good thing. Come on, get it out. Right. Just gotta. Can you hear the glue mouse? I haven't had glue mouse for a while. Do you know what it is? Glue mouse has been hiding because you haven't been here. She's really good at it. She just needs a push. Yeah, well, I mean, get her in here. Get her to pop a YouTube account together and get on here and subscribe, and I can talk her through. Where is it? There it is. This thing. This bloody program down here. Or at least, that would be the hope. to try. Right. Yep. Oh, the angle's just right. It's just right. Yeah, get it right in there. Oh no. Too much glue. Oh my god, what the fuck is going on here? Oh god. I still want to take you up on your offer when you get some time to paint my Nerf assault rifle. A bit better than it already is. Because it's not. Essentially, because it's just not that good. Oh no, this hasn't lined up. Oh, it might. I'll let it solidify first. Okay. No, it's not going to. Bollocks. Right, I'm going to pull this off before it solidifies, because I'm going to have to cut a tiny bit away from this. Get a bit of glue off the inside as well. There we go. Right, okay then. I might get some glue mouse for this. There's glue mouse. Oh. On that run, like last year, or was it the year before? Jesus, it was a while ago now, isn't it? I'd like made up and established a bunch of characters, and then you came into the lore and introduced Beth. Thanks to your wildly entertaining misspellings of things. Um, and yeah, well, I can paint it and do decals for you. Just have to sort out the costing of it. Yeah, indeed. And, please do take into account my account, which is empty. Uh, and, that I don't need it to be like first priority or anything. So you could definitely, you could take your sweet ass time with it, and, you don't have to. I don't need it immediately because I have no cosplay plans. I have no plans to leave the house or anything in costume anytime soon for the foreseeable future. I do, however, have plans to build my own bloody Halloween costume for next year. So it's either gonna be a finished chief. That's right, Glue Mouse. Or it's gonna be Batman. If I have time, it will be a Ninja Turtle. And if I don't, it won't be. Simple as. Yeah, I think that's my only goal really, is just to get that ready. I need to do my boots and shins, fix the thighs, redo the belly part, which I don't do until the last minute because I constantly fluctuate. It goes in, it goes out. There's no Bat Chief. Impossible, sir. How dare you come out with such blasphemy? See, it would be class to do a Batman versus Ninja Turtles situation. You do Batman, I'll do a Ninja Turtle. Yeah, that's right. That'd be class, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Look at your phone, lol. You look at your phone, lol. Can't you see I'm busy? Eh? Can't you see I'm fucking working, mate? Where are you, Mr. Wizard? Are you in a meeting? I'll come watch my stream. I just thought I'd point out the irony of what I just said to you. Opening files to make the Batsuit 4 game from 4 games. What am I looking at? I ain't got nothing, mate. But yeah, I've got files for Batman that I'm quite excited to build. Let's see if I can remember where I put them. Let's see. Where I'll there it is. Oh. That's the chest piece I've got. Hang on, I'll pop it up for you. So that's the chest piece I've got right here. I have a utility belt. The shins. So I could just use a pair of boots to go underneath them. The braces, the forearm gauntlets. I mean, they to me, look cool as fluke. I have a cowl variant, which I plan to make almost exactly like that, and then I'm going to get like foam. I've got foam clay, and I'm going to get that to like make the furrows in the brow and stuff, and then on top of that we've got the chest logo that'll go nicely on the chest. So yeah, that's me bat, and I shall be making that. The other thing I want to make is like the Guyver, and that's going to be a complicated matter. That is the helmet. It's it's going to be difficult. Let's see if I can find a simplified version of the head. There it is. Yeah, that's it pulled apart basically in foam strips. But yeah, that's another one. Oops. Where have you gone, mate? Come back to me. Oh no. Oh, there it is. Right. Shoulder. Is it this one? Yes, there we go. Right. Okay, back to business. I see you've what have you put? Sent it on an image of my batsuit on Instagram. Oh, it's only just come through. That'll be why, because it just didn't bother to come through until now. Yeah, you've got like the Arkham Knight one, and it's all right. It's nice and everything, and yeah, the gun looks nice. You've shown me that before. That's why we talked about originally that like how you would what do you call it? Do my paint job on my gun. But yeah, as far as the Batman's concerned, I want it to be more generic so I can make it sort of unique. And like, there's so many different variations of like official variations of Batman, including all the games and the movies and the comics and the toy variants and Elseworld stories and Earth 1, Earth 257, blah blah blah. I mean, there's so many different costume variants just in the game Arkham Knight, isn't there? You know, like one of my favourite variants is the Batfleck one, and like that's just me. I actually really enjoyed those films, but like also the costume was cool as fuck. I really liked it, but I don't want it to be that either. I kind of want it to be completely its own thing. Like, yeah, I don't want it to be Arkham, even though I love those games. I preferred the costume in the first two games rather than the later one, the more tech one. But still, I wanna sort of make my own variant, my own version of it. I just think that'd be cool as fuck, just making like a generic cowl and then making my own like facial expression on it with the foam and like molding brows and furrows into it and making it look like nasty and angry looking, and but just from memory, no like staring at photos or templates for that part of it. I'll make the helmet itself like to a template, almost exactly, and then I kind of want to make it I don't know, like somewhere near the veracity of Batfleck's cowl, because that has like one of the angriest faces of any Batman movie, for example. It's probably the best example in 3D, apart from some of the close-ups in like Arkham City. you get a real sense of like, the the veracity of the cowl itself. In particular, just the eyes and the nose. If I can get a really good snarling nose, like a, you know, like nostrils flaring type of thing going on with the foam, and yeah, and I don't even want it to be fully symmetrical either. I want it to be like almost unhinged looking. Like if he's got his rule to not kill anyone, like you literally just, I don't know, walk in front of him wrong, and he's gonna kick the shit out of you and possibly murder you. That type of look on his cowl. And then body wise, I don't know whether I want to go muscles or tech or a combination of the two, a bit like what Arkham did in the first two games, where it was like partial comic book, partial tech look. Like they still had the underpants, for example, on the first two games, didn't they? And it was very comic booky. And I kind of like I was a bit disappointed with Arkham Knight's like art direction, because it went more like, ooh, the Dark Knight kind of tech, real world thing. I always think Batman's best when it's like an imaginary world where a billionaire would dress up like a bat to beat the fuck out of people. The more realistic we try and make Batman, the less appealing it is for me. I mean, like, people say, like, oh, yeah, The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises and Batman Begins, that trilogy was, like, the best one because of the realism. And it's like, well, it's not, though, is it? Because it's not. They were just well-made movies, mate. If you treat the subject matter with realism and you give it high stakes, then good. But if you really want actual realism with Batman, you'd have a dude just sort of like clambering along rooftops and falling over himself and like tripping over his cape and stuff, like real life. Nobody wants that. That would be shit. But yeah, and I sort of love the idea of going completely off the rails and doing my own thing with it. It's part of the appeal because I've spent so long doing like these Halo suits completely on model, and wanting to get it exactly right to the games and everything. That now I'm fully in a position where I just want to do it my own way, whatever it might be. And I have just this commission and then possibly one more. I need to look into that actually. To do after this, and I think it's something from Warhammer for someone who's already managed to find the files and everything, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do it, yeah, alright. As long as we can sort the money out and all the rest of it, and I don't have to send it as well. They live quite close, so it's good. It's not going to go to America, so that's a big bonus. And then I am not taking on any more commissions. I am going to be coming up here and doing my own thing and making my own stuff. So, yeah. Even though it says Harley Halo on the channel name, it's not always going to be Halo. There will be some Halo still, but it's going to be... It's going to be everything. It's going to be anything I'm actually interested in, like Ninja Turtles, like Terminator, like RoboCop, like Batman, the Guyver. Don't blame me. Thank you. Yeah. Might even Aliens at some point. I might actually make a Xenomorph or something to go up against your smart gun. How's that? Fight, fight, fight. uh, yeah, so I joke a lot, Mr. Wizard, about wanting to join you in film work and all the rest of it, but I think, in all honesty, right this very second, I don't. I want to do it. I assume you're referring to the Alien, and I will at some point, definitely. Might be a year or two down the line, but I'll definitely get round to one. Um, yeah, right now I just sort of want to do my own thing. I don't really want to. I don't want to work on anything else for anyone else at the moment, because that's all I've done for about 4 years now. I've made myself 1.5 costumes. When Infinite released and I went to my former job dressed up on the day of release, I borrowed, because I happened to be making a chief armour for someone. I borrowed the shins and boots to do it. I didn't even have my own chief costume for that, so I just did it then. And I wanted to do it on the console release as well, because I knew we had a lot of pre-orders for the console, and I didn't make it. I was absolutely gutted. And then I nearly didn't make it for the release of the game a year later, because again I was working on other people's stuff and I'd given myself deadlines. The smart gun rig I made for me in my spare time, it took 5 months, but now I have people ask me to make them one. Yeah, well, that unfortunately is the nature of it, isn't it? Every time I share a picture, I have people go like, "How much for a commission?" I'm like, it's kind of not what I'm doing anymore, dude. I feel like Clint Eastwood in Unforgiven. I don't do that anymore. Oh, come on, Clint, just one more time around the bush. Around the bush? Don't know why I said that, but... That's my Clint Eastwood. That's all you gain, because I can't bend my face. I am not Jim Carrey. Jiminy Jim Carrey can bend his face any way he would like to see. Quoted someone 1,500 quid to make it. Yeah, well, that sounds about right. I assume they want the whole thing. They want the arm and the lot, and that means you have to source another gimbal, print the entire thing, sand the entire thing. You know, your favourite bit. Paint the entire thing. They'll want the gun. They'll want the gimbal. They'll want the body part. You know, 1,500 quid is probably cutting yourself a little bit short. I would have said. I'd have said at least $2,000 for that. It's like a rig. It's like a fucking hydraulic rig. $2,000 minimum, dude. Don't sell yourself short. But yeah, that would be cool as well. Like if you know, I was able to put like a xenomorph together, meet you at a con, start a fight. Oh, think of the pictures. Right, look it. We're getting there. Look at. Oh, finally got the all the bits on there. Yep, a lot of work indeed. Like I say, you definitely. Like I know it probably sounded like a lot of money to them. Like, oh, £1,000, fucking hell. If they were from Yorkshire, they'd have been how much? Um, but it's not. But it's not. 1,500 quid for an entire rig, smart gun rig. Absolute blinding bargain, that is. Say £500. So, don't come at me with all your how much. Because, no, that's a cracking good price. Eh, what? Let's see. Right, I've brought this up because I want to have a look at the shoulder again. It's the only problem with these like Reach ones is that they're not particularly high res photos. The production company I work for has asked if I would be interested in working on an Alien short pic to shoot some bits in a promo. What's that? Oh, pick to show off some bits in a promo. I mean, yeah. I mean, 100% yes, isn't it? If you like, you know. Just remember the key to getting a good-looking alien: KY jelly. The actress that played Lambert will attest to that. They said that they had a flamboyant set dresser. It's just the way she described the situation, where it's like every time they did a shot with the alien, they had to sort of lube it up and have it so it would drip. Yeah. And apparently it was like, right, we're gonna have to lube up the alien for another shot. And apparently this dude would come out and always have flamboyant scarves on, and he'd go, "I'll do it," and he'd be there just, you know. But yeah, KY apparently is why the alien KY in water is what they had dripping off the alien in the first film. Don't know what they used in Cameron's one, but it started to look like foam. There was certain shots, you know, like the one that takes out what's her name? The what is her name? Oh my god, I forget her. I always forget her name, but she says the word Spunkmeyer, which is the most hilarious name for a marine. Ever to be uttered on film. But the Spunkmeyer is is what she shouts, and then she's about to take him off planet, and it's the crash that spawns the game over man line. But the alien that kills her looks like it has like white shit all around its mouth, and that's weird. I ain't like that. It's not that it was like disgusting or anything either. It was just like, that's a bit weird, lads, isn't it? Ferro. That's the one. Ferro, do you copy? Ferro, do you copy? Only way to be sure. Right. Yes, so what we're doing here, according to this picture, where are we? Right here. This bit that I'm cutting off seems to me more like an extension of the middle part than it is an actual like separate part that rolls on at the end, which is what the model makes it look like. So I'm just doing straight cuts all the way down. I was going to use these little edges that are on there. I don't know if you can make out the like little blobby end on the end there. I was going to use that to inform the shape of the big middle part, but I think we're all right, aren't we? And then they would have had to have cut into this, but I'm not doing that now. I'm simply going to use this shape to bend around a little bit on the end of the big piece, and then house the end bit that's there. I'm back. There we are. So yeah, that guy right there. Yeah, quite. Speaking of aliens, I think I told you, didn't I, that I have an idea for I've done a Halo like silly short film with my old Halo 3 suit before I had my hip replacement, and it's so weird watching me walk in the suit back then because I'm sort of like sort of falling down to my on my left because I had that much less height on that side until I had my hip replacement done. Now I can walk properly. I didn't realize. I never realized how bad it was until I look back at that footage and go like, "Oh Jesus." But yeah, I did that with the help of one friend who decided to turn up and film it for me, and yeah, it was odd. But I wanted to do like a more serious one and let this platform that we are on be my copyright, as it were. But my idea is to do a very much Predator-inspired Master Chief short film, where most of it is going to be essentially just walking through the woods. Like, he's stranded somewhere, and the first thing we're going to establish is like a radio communication, like gets in the helmet that it's going to be 12 hours until dust off or something like that. And being the silent protagonist, and the fact that I can't do a very good impression of what's his? Oh my God, why can't I remember his name? Steve Downes. Thank you, Jesus. He's not going to say anything throughout the entire thing. The entire thing is almost going to be a silent film, except for sound effects and all the rest of it. And he's going to be walking through the woods, and then bit by bit he's going to start hearing more and more, and then after a while realizes he's being hunted by something he can't see. Anyway, long story short, by the end of like the 10-15 minute mark, there'll be some sort of dangerous but very quick final showdown between Chief and like a very, very high up elite zealot or someone like one of the ones with like massive heads out of reach, for example. And it's this one elite that was tasked to go in like covert and try and catch Chief unawares and kill him in like a guerrilla warfare type of situation, or send one dude to do an army's job type of situation, like Arbiter or something. But not the Arbiter, obviously. Would he not be used to that with elites? Well, that's the point. Screen up here, Predator costumes. Yeah, I know, but like, that's the point. Is it's going to be a particularly proficient elite, not like some blue dude going on the middle of a beach, firing at him from like 20 yards away or something. Dude's gonna be fucking following him from afar, and he's gonna hear it every now and again. Look around, you're gonna get those. It's all about shooting the costume in a certain light and in a certain way, so you'd get like the shots from possibly below, like facing upwards, and you'd get like the movement, the everything. It's a kinetic film, and the reason why the final confrontation isn't going to be like a bloody Arnie versus the Predator fucking drawn out piece of crap where what the hell are you and all that crap. It's gonna be a concise fucking like he finally undoes his sword so he turns around, sees him, and ends up like either stabbing it in the head and killing it instantly, or fire, flip out the way, stick a grenade to it and jump out the way, and it's dead. And then there's the Pelican. Do you know what I mean? It's it's meant to be like that situation where there's a couple of the elite in the bunker on Reach when you first fight them was badass. I think I know what you mean. Like the way that tension builds is something that would definitely influence this idea. It sounds like the TV show. Right, how do you ban people out of here? Well, the idea, like I say, is that whatever it is, whatever the situation, whatever creature this is going to be, and I reckon it should be an elite, because they were always like the best enemy to fight. I reckon should be quickly dispatched, because that's lore accurate, isn't it? Like, you spend every bloody game mowing them down. But if you're in a situation where, say, you've only got an assault rifle, your pistol's run out of ammo, you've got like 2 grenades, 1 of each, and one of those zealots comes at you with an energy sword, I mean, that could go either way, couldn't it? And that's the idea, is the big one, the zealot. Yeah. And that is the idea, is that it would be one of them with an energy sword. It's invisible, so you don't really know, and you can't really pinpoint where the sound's coming from, or he can't, and he's sort of looking around. And it's almost at a point where it's unspoken that, right, okay, there's definitely something following me, and I know there's an elite there, but he's not going to go, show yourself, is he? He's not Picard. Start like dictating rules of warfare to an elite zealot in the middle of a jungle sort of thing on a foreign planet. But that is the idea, is that it would be like almost a Predator situation film wise, because it would be in a jungle and it's an invisible creature coming after him. But yeah, the idea would be that at first you don't know what it is, and then it's almost immediate, especially if you're a Halo fan, like obvious what it is. But then that's not, it's not a whodunit. That's not the point of the film. The point is like, how long is it going to take before he spots it and kills it? And how long is it going to, and what could possibly happen? Is it going to be a joke one where they literally do the game where the Zealot gets you one time and then you respawn and get it next time? Because that's a possibility as well, to just turn it into a joke and do a literal respawn in real life. Like, what would that be like? Like, he gets it and goes, ha ha ha. Then, wait a minute, I'm back in the tree. What's going on? Because that's a possibility. I don't think I'd go that route, but I like the idea of it being a big build-up tension type of situation, and then it ultimately was an easy job to dispatch this bloody elite. It was more of an annoyance. So it's sort of like a fake out. Like, as far as the filmmaking's going, it's treating it like it's a threat. It's like, and you use the classic tension building things. If you can't see it, you use a suspenseful music. And all of the rest of it, and then ultimately it's a little bit of a challenge. Like, he has to fucking get out the way of the energy sword, for example, and then kills it. But the main hurdle I've got the perfect place to do it near me as well. And if I get the suit put together properly, I've got the suit, I've got the gun. I don't need anything else. Except I need to figure out like CGI 3D model of some description and figure out doing invisibility. No small task, But I think it's a really good idea. I genuinely do, and I think like for like a fan film type of project, nothing like that's been done. Coming at it from a pure filmmaking standpoint, it's just like a suspenseful 15 minutes, and like tension is the point of it, not Chief versus the elite. It's tension and movement and kinetics and shadow and lighting and the the forest. The way it'll, like branches and leaves and things will cast shadows on the armour, and possibly then looking at getting like the actual VFX done somehow as well. And I just don't know how to go about the rest of it. Well, you could use green screen because it'd be a totally different hue to whatever green is out there already, but I get you. They used red in Predator, like a bright red that wasn't anywhere else, and I think they used blue backgrounds and they used red on the costume to then create the effect. But I don't think we need to do that anymore. I think we can use game assets, but I don't know how to transfer the game assets in sort of a machinima type of way into something else. There are people that know how to do that, because people do it all the time. I've seen countless videos. I just don't know how to do it myself, and I think I'd end up having to do it all by myself. Even like bringing mini tripods and stuff and setting cameras up on the ground and just trying to hit the mark and then looking at the footage and going, right, I missed it, and having to put it back and do it again until I get it. So it's finding the time to do that. It'd take months. Do you know what I mean? It would be so arduous that I don't think it would be physically possible for me to do it on my own, because I'd have to be the dude in the suit as well. I don't know anyone that's over my height that would also know how to move. I know a really tall guy that's about an inch taller than me, and I'm 6'3", but he has no acting experience, and he's quite an awkward guy with these massive shoulders, and he slumps down a bit, and if you tell him to stand up straight, he'll go. And that's it. Everything you're saying I see being done at work. Well, yeah. Yeah, because I'm not talking about anything that doesn't already exist. For absolute, matter of fact, it's all possible if you have the resources, if you have the knowledge. Less than the resources, more the knowledge. But I don't, sadly. I know how to film things, I know how to edit things. And that's about it. And I've got this idea in my head. And I know I can act it. I know that I can do that much. I know how to move. I know how it needs to be. I know how it needs to move for it to be recognisable as the game Master Chief, not the TV show Master Chief. Don't you ever fucking say that again to me, boy. Anyway, the game Master Chief version. But yeah, the point is the point is that I know what needs to be done, and I know how to do it. And if I had someone else, then I would direct it. But I don't. So I need a couple of people. I need someone that vaguely knows lighting. Or the TV show of Halo is so much better than the game. See, I know you're joking. I'm not even going to dignify that with an answer. It's a thing. I'd love to do it. I really would, and I've got the idea, and I know it's mine. And at the moment, I know it's original. I know no one else has tried to do it, especially not in the fanfic. Most people try and do a thing where they'll write a script and they'll be like, 20 minutes to evac and bollocks, and it comes out like Halo Nightfall. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but Halo Nightfall came out like a really bad fanfic than it did an actual in-law production. Oh, so bad. So I was really disappointed with that, and it was very annoying. And it was written like fan fiction as well. The dialogue was crap. You had the usual someone freaking out, and you have to calm them down. Yeah, but they're a trained Marine. That's the thing that gets me about shit like that. And the ones where there'll be astronauts, and then something goes wrong, and then one of them starts freaking out and jeopardizes the entire mission. It's not going to happen. I don't want fake tension. I don't want I want it to just be a simple premise where the character is doing something familiar, but then something slightly unfamiliar happens, and you go oh, you don't necessarily know where the fan production is going. Because it's not actual canon, then you're not gonna know it, because the person's not gonna necessarily follow the formula. But then for it to actually follow in-law formula, and for it to ultimately be a very quick fight, and for it to be gone and dispatched really easily, I don't think it'll be an anticlimax. I think it'll be exactly what people expect from those characters, you know. Did they use the same actor who's the use Spartan Locke? Wait, what are we talking about? What's that say? Yes, they did. Yeah, it was actually the actor. It was what's his face that did Luke Cage on Netflix. Remember the Luke Cage series? Yeah, and he actually starred in it and actually voiced it. It was actually him. And then after that, they took his likeness and everything, and then he left the project, and they had someone else do the voiceover for the game. So it was his likeness, and he was probably paid for his likeness, but he never did. He left the project before they recorded the voice for it. Probably to do Luke Cage series 2, I think. And then that thing where they did the crossover, you know, with the Iron Fist fella and the Jessica What's-Her-Face Jones fella series on Netflix. In Nightfall, yeah. That's Nightfall without a K, dude. Nightfall with a K is a Batman story from the early 90s with Bane breaking his back. I'm a nerd. Yeah, it's the same dude, the actual actor in Nightfall. Like I say, they never used his voice in Halo 5. And the first I knew of that was that they did they did like a round table around the time it had come out, and it was like, and the voiceover actor for Spartan Locke is this fellow here, and it's like, that's not the same guy. And yeah, so interesting. Not sure why. I think it was probably because he had other shit to do, and he was like, "Yeah, this is probably not going to turn out that great, so I will cut my losses after Nightfall." And he did. And I reckon they'll have made all the contracts for like visual appearance and all the rest of it around the time they did Nightfall, and they'll have took all the scans they needed from him at the time, and then they had someone else do all the dialogue. Basically, a sound alike. That was really good, like genuinely really good, because I didn't know the difference until they did like that promotional round table discussion interview type situation. It is, isn't it? Yeah, school run time. But yeah, it turns out it was a totally different dude that did the voice in the game. But that's my film idea, Mr. Wizard. I reckon it's totally doable, but I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know where anymore. But it's something that I'd really love to do and put together, and I genuinely believe that I have the ability to do it and act it and all the rest of it. So one day I will. But cheers for joining me, dude. I'm not going to be much longer on here myself, so you know, have a good rest of your day. I won't be on for another week after this because we're going on holiday. So today was the last day. Well, good talking to you, my dude. I'm glad things are swimming along for all your stuff, and it's not that busy. You've still got time to pick the kids up from school, so things are good. So yeah, keep on keeping on, Mr. Wizard. See you soon, mate. For anyone else that's dropping in and dropping out and listening to me rant on about stupid shit, hello. And soon to be goodbye, because I am buggering off to do the same thing. I'm going to pick the kids up from school. Oh, one kid's come back. Can hear them. So yeah, I think I'll leave it. I'll leave it at that. And thank you for watching. And thank you for dropping in if you just randomly dropped in. And thank you again to those people that have subscribed to me over the last few days. Very much appreciate it. And hopefully catch you soon. I'm not going to get a chance to do this over the weekend, so I'll have a week off and I'll be getting straight back on it. Excuse me, next weekend possibly, or the week after following that weekend. Bye bye for now.